r/AskReddit, what's the craziest WW2 fact that you know of? That time the British dumped a dead man's body with fake plans planted on him so it would wash up in Spain and get turned over to the Germans. Operation Mincemeat for anyone that wants to learn more. Unbelievably meticulous. The atomic bomb was the second most expensive project of World War II. The most expensive project of World War II was the B-29 bomber, used to drop the atomic bomb. I just learned this yesterday while watching a Netflix series on WW2. The United States had 2 freshwater aircraft carriers. And they were sidewheelers. Gotta train carrier pilots somewhere, might as well use the Great Lakes. And George H.W. Bush landed on them. During the war, Canada built more military trucks than the major Axis powers, Germany, Japan, Italy, combined. Source, link. The mighty and technologically unparalleled German army was mostly supplied by horse-drawn wagons. And that was after stealing every car and truck in the occupied countries. After Germany invaded France, they forced Citroën to make trucks for them. In an act of sabotage, Citroën moved the full mark on the engine oil dipstick lower. So, the engines would run but fail under heavy use. Brilliant. A French-Canadian soldier named Leo Major was so pissed off at the Germans for killing one of his friends he single-handedly rounded up 93 Germans and liberated a Dutch town. He kept bringing back prisoners, grabbed some ammo, and went back, alone, to capture more. He also only had one eye. When he was to be awarded the Legion of Merit Medal, he refused because the officer who recommended him wasn't a Canadian. Something like a tenth of the Russian population died. More like a seventh. I watched a documentary of a guy who wanted to be a spy and ended up somehow getting one of the highest medals on the German side and one of the highest medals in the Allied side also. Supposedly the only person to do so. Codename, Garbo, link. He was just a guy who wanted to be a spy, so he offered MI6 his services and was turned down, so he started spying for the Germans and feeding them false intel to prove to the British he could do it. German and American soldiers fought alongside French prisoners against the SS during the last days of the war. The Battle of Castle-Itter, link. Edit, if I had a nickel for every time the Wehrmacht and the Americans teamed up against the SS during WW2 I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot but it's weird that it happened twice, link. When you said German soldiers, I was just thinking you meant German nationals fighting for the Allies, but no, it was the German army, not part of the SS, being like okay Nazis, the war is actually over, knock this shit out. The 8th Air Force suffered more casualties than the Marine Corps. This was going to be one of mine. Basically the bomber cruise over Europe took more casualties than the US in the Pacific. Oh shit, the engine on my truck blew up. What did you expect they're French? In the UK when war was declared, the government encouraged people to give their pets away, or put them to sleep. People did this without being encouraged because there was a fear there wouldn't be enough food to feed their families and their pets. They tried to make an aircraft carrier made of ice. Technically picrete, sawdust or wood pulp and ice. My grandfather had 10 rounds left when Patton broke through at Bastogne. The last Japanese soldiers didn't surrender until the mid-1970s. Link. His commander, I have to what? Oh, for fuck's sake, he was always one to take this a little too serious. He's second to last, link. Japanese mini-subs were at the attack of Pearl Harbor. Juan Pujol Garca. A Spanish national that wanted to spy for Britain against Germany. Britain rejected his offer, but he decided to spy for them anyway. Pop some popcorn and read his wiki. The British used inflatable tanks to trick the enemy. My dad and his brother, Dan, ran into each other randomly in France. They turned around and saw each other, and they both yelled, "What are you doing here?" I have a couple of photos from that day. They got to spend that day together before going back into hell, and they both survived the war. The Ghost Army. And the US had a fake radio unit, assisting other fake units, to throw off the Germans. Link. The Purple Heart medals that the United States awards to its wounded soldiers today were minted in preparation for the anticipated massive casualties that would result from a land invasion of Japan. ETA, apparently I'm wrong and the last of those World War II era medals were handed out in 2000 or 2010 or thereabouts. Thanks to several commenters for the correction. ETA2, per u/Andy802, maybe I was right the first time. That is insane to me, they were expecting so many to die that we're still using them today. Pretty sobering thought. We actually tested cat-guided bombs hoping the cats would steer the bombs towards enemy ships to avoid landing in the water. I didn't know about those, but I knew about the pigeon-guided bombs.
While it's more associated with the Vietnam War, WW2 had the world's first combat rescue by helicopter. Burma. 1944. That the British made up the carrots are good for your eyes trope to cover up their superior surveillance capabilities. Seeing someone you know from home while abroad, in the military, is a wild experience. I can't imagine seeing a brother in between trips through hell. This is so fucking awesome. In France, my uncle Curtis got blown up but still alive, so they morphined him really good and buried him in the sand till the battle moved on, then they came back and got him. He's still kicking. Here's an article about him, link. Holy shit, I've never heard that. But it makes sense. The beaches were hell zones, no cover. Might as well bury him and hope you get back before high tide. Uncle Curtis is a badass, cheers to him. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.